Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to be solving another CTF called Super Serial. As per the name suggests, it's going to be a serialization vulnerability. In the description, it says try to recover the flag stored in this website, and we have a hint for us. The flag is at /flag. It might be the location for the flag. So now we are presented with a sign-in page that requires username. As I don't know, I'm gonna be doing SQL injection to see if it works or not. Well, as I thought, it's not working. So let's try looking up for the robot text for this site. Here we can see it says disallow admin.phps, which basically indicates that we are not allowed to access it. But this gives us a hint that there might be files with .phps extensions, and we might be able to access them. Here, the difference between the PHP and .phps files is that normally PHP files gets interpreted by the web server and PHP executables, and we will never see the code behind that. But if we make the file extension .phps, instead of just the HTML codes, it will show us the output of the source code as well. So let's try visiting the index.phps and see if we can find anything there. Well, here is the PHP code, the PHP source code we were looking for. It says require once cookie.php. It's basically importing cookie.php file, and in here it's expecting a username and a password parameter and sending them to the permission class. But we cannot see any permission class here. It might be in some other files. We will look into that. Anyways, as it's taking the username and password and generating an output based on which if we are a guest or an admin, then it will generate the cookie accordingly. Now, what will happen is the cookie that's coming from here, it will first serialize it and then base64 encoding it and then URL encode it as well, and finally set it as login. After that, it will send that to the authentication.php. So it means we might need a login cookie for cracking this challenge. Well, now let's go to the cookie.php and authentication.php and see what happens. Or we can find anything there. Here we can see the here in the cookie.phps we can see the class permissions. What it does is there is a function, constructor function. It's taking that username and password from the index.php we have just seen, and there are other functions as well to check if it's the admin or a guest, and also another function toString, like it's returning user password, I guess. And in the final section where we can see is set cookie. It is a set cookie function, I guess. It's actually taking that cookie named login and then URL decoding it, base64 decoding it, and finally unserializing it and storing it in the perm variable. And then it sends that variable to the function isGuest and isAdmin respectively for checking. If an error occurs, it will prompt a message deserialization error.perm. Mainly that's our goal here, because we cannot get anything becoming an admin or guest. So what we have to do is that we have to cause this error and then see the flag. Now let's go to the other file called authentication.php. Here we can see another class named accesslog. We can notice there is a similar function toString we have just seen in the cookie.phps. What it does is it actually calls the readlog function, and in the readlog function it fetches the file contents from a variable called log file, So if we assign a variable and call log file, if we assign a variable that is known as that's called log file and give it to the flag location and give the flag location dot slash flag and then call the variable from access log class, we might be able to get something or might be able to get the flag. So what we have to do is if we pass this through, it gets an error and then it will print out the parameter. It will print out the perm variable which stores the unserialized object for this case. We are basically setting that location dot flag and creating an unserialized object. Basically, we are making an object and then passing it through the access class, access log. So, okay, we will be doing it using this access log. So let's visit the PHP online editor. I'm using PHP sandbox. So here's the log file, PHP access log. So we are doing it here basically because we need a serialized value of the access log, but we don't have the authority to override it. So I inserted the last line here to create a new access log and proceed it as suggested by the hint here. Now we get this result. Okay, so as we can see in the cookie, it was first in the in the index.php, it was serializing this, base64 encoding it, and our URL encoding it. So we have to do the base64 encoding it to this thing. Now we're gonna, yeah, I'm copying it and I'm gonna be doing it using verb suite. So pasting it here, encode as base64. This will be our cookie value. I'm copying it. Now I'm going to be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that cookie value for this authentication.php file. Let's visit this. I basically have to create a cookie for this, and for this I have to go to the inspect, storage, cookie. I have to set a new cookie, and which will be named as, the value of the cookie is this thing, and the name of the cookie will be login. Now refresh it, and here's the flag we get. Voila, this is the flag. It's done. We solved this challenge.